you talked about, Hiram, the fact that all of this stuff has been in you for years. You talked about the fact that a lot of times we're putting stuff in kids we won't even realize. That's why when you come into Christ, God has to renew your mind.
Yeah.
That's why one of the first things that has to happen, Scripture says you're going to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So much of the way that we think about ourselves, so much of the way we think about the world, so much about the way we think about the people we're in a relationship with needs to change and was put in us from the wrong places. And that's one of the first things that God has to do. And the other scripture that came to my mind, when you talk about building back your confidence after it's been torn down, faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word. You want to have faith in yourself. You want to believe that you can keep moving forward. You got to hear God talking to you about who you are. And you've got to be intentional about going to get that word and putting it inside of you. I might not be the pastor or the preacher for everybody, but I promise you there's some pastor or preacher who can preach to everybody who God has on the earth. And what you have to do is put yourself in a position where you're going to let faith get poured back into you until you can get built back up.
Because Paul also said in Philippians 2:5, he said, let this mind be in you.
Let it. So
that's back to my free will and back to, I'm not trying to hear that from you, Amar.
How about that, man?
Let this mind be in you. But then he comes back in 1 Corinthians 10, what did he say? There's no situation common to man that God has not already provided a way out.
Already.
And that's what I like. That's what helps me. Because I know it's a way out, but I got to choose ye this day.
Yo, but that's so good though. Yeah, that is the temptation piece. But that's so good too, because one of the things we were talking about was loneliness and isolation. And that means that even when the enemy, even when I'm telling myself that I can't get out, there's a way out. In God, there's always a way out. That's something that some brother needs to hear, I believe, by faith. Like, whoever's listening to us on today, like, know that in God, there is always a way out. There's a godly way out. There's a good way out. It does not have to be you go fight this person. It does not have to be you go smoke your way out. The challenge is, and this ties into one of the areas I want to go into next, do I have enough relationship to get a sense of the direction that I need to go in order to find my way out?
And the answer is no.
Wow.
The answer is straight up no. Because of the fact that we are neophytes, we're just learning this thing about salvation.
This joint is great.
I'm sorry. It's just that we're not ready yet. Like you said, not ready to sit home and do the Zoom and all of that kind of stuff, And so with everything else coming against me, the one thing I have a choice to do is not to do that. I got a career, I got to work, I got to take care of the kids, I got to take care of myself, whatever my sinful nature may be. And so, no, my relationship is not strong enough yet to be able to stand up on Sunday and tell a story. Because remember, I got a lot of guilty stains. We got to remember who we are. And that's why your point is well taken as an educator, because to me, everything is a teachable moment.
Wow.
Every single thing, like right now. It's a teachable moment. So about the direction thing you were talking about, I think you were talking about direction was the fact that the buck stops here. Too much blame game. It's always somebody else's fault for where I'm at. I'm responsible for my success. I'm responsible for my relationship with God. I'm responsible for loving myself. I'm responsible for taking care of my children. We have to, as men, get to the point where you're talking about accountability and responsibility.
That's all I was thinking when you were saying that.
That's what we have to be able to do. But if I don't know the way, remember the historical reasons, my dad didn't show me.
Boom.
I didn't grow up with no parents. A lot of brothers don't know how to love.
And let me say this real quick too, and other brothers jump in and cut me off, but that's why you can't blame a man who finds themselves lost at a certain period in life.
And to that point, Pastor, when I was suffering with my depression, it was because I was judgmental of the ones that had the depression at first.
Wow.
When I watched Kate Spade take her life, I judged her. Anthony Bourdain, I judged him.
That's deep, bro.
And I'm sitting here like, how can you take your own life and you had all of this? Oh, but it came and got me, but it didn't take me out. Because I judged the ones that went through it. And I was not empathetic to them. But as I was sitting there on my patio, and I don't want to go through it again, but hopefully somebody who's listening will
Yeah.
understand that you can get through it.
Yeah,
It's just a thought.
man, come on, man.
It didn't become a reality.
Yeah.
And I owe God for that.